Yeah, it's the big 8. I can see that. Yeah. Quantity of deer has not been the issue. It's been more the quality and looking for the shooters that we have in mind.
One of our top shooter bucks was actually bumping a couple of does. We're going to be 30 feet up a tree all week.
I was just telling Nate, I've never had a whole lot of success hunting in winds like this. I felt like it holds the deer movement down, but we've got a crazy good drop in temperature again today. It's October 22nd, and we're coming out of that lull time frame and really getting into this pre-rut time frame. We got a really great wind direction. Obviously the speed, like I said, is not the best, but we're gonna give it a whirl tonight. We're thinking that the action here could pick up at any moment. Well, stuff has gotten real here for us. We had a little rain come through yesterday, so we thought what a perfect time to come down, check some cameras, and get a morning spot set up for this upcoming week, this last week of October. And I'll be danged if we didn't pull the cameras and see some deer that just blew us away. So out of privacy factor, I'm not sharing the pictures, but he'd be my biggest deer to date. If you had asked me yesterday, I would have told you that I'd have been hunting this morning. But because of the pictures that we got, we decided to set up other side of the farm and hunt it at the evening. But the deer is totally worth it. Well, we just got set up in the stand for the evening tonight. It's the same setup we've been looking for to hunt this ridge. We need a good north wind, and the temperatures are cooperating this week. This week we've got an awesome front rolling through. We're just on the front end of it right here, but we had a camera down this draw the last couple weeks, and we were getting some really good pictures on it between about 7:15 and 9:30. But we got set up, we got in here last Thursday and hung this set and put a camera out, and we're thinking that we've got about a 70 yard chunk of woods that these mature bucks had to be traveling down to get to the camera where I had it. So we've kind of adjusted a little bit. We haven't got them on the camera right here under this stand yet, but we know they got to be traveling through this area if they're getting down to this bottom field. We sat here the Friday after we hung it and saw a handful of deer and saw a bunch of activity up the draw, but never had anything mature work its way down to us. We had bucks running through the woods up there that I could only see through the binos. We weren't able to get any footage of. So we know they're in the area. We just got to work them down past this fence row and in daylight enough to get a shot at them, obviously. So we're going to get a run here tonight. We've got a great front. We've got a great wind here blowing through for us. So we're going to sit tight, and we know this draw is not usually at a shortage for deer. So we're just looking for the mature buck opportunity that we've been waiting on.
Well, we're headed back out for the evening hunt here tonight. And as you can see, we've changed up access route a little bit. We hunted this morning and the movement was pretty slow, so we climbed down and continuing to collect some intel on this farm. So we've changed up our access route today because we were getting the pictures the previous week. We're trying to switch it up. We're playing the wind. We got the wind in our face walking in, wind in our face while we're sitting. So we know that it's only a matter of time. We're putting in the hours, putting in the stand time. And actually last night on our way out from setting this stand, we saw one of our shooter bucks in the bean field, which was kind of frustrating, seeing him out there, knowing that he kind of skirted us. But that's the game, you know, that's the chess match for playing with these mature deer. So we were trying to find some camera locations, some scrapes or any sort of intel we could collect in the possible areas where he skirted us last night. We've got a pretty good beat on it. We're going to sit the same stand tonight and kind of continue to collect that info. We're going to get back up there. We're on the west side again tonight. We've got a good wind for it, and we know that deer are traveling through the little corridor that we're in. It's only a matter of time for a doe brings a good-looking buck down. It's that time of year, and really the biggest thing right now, we know we're in a good location for deer, for mature bucks. The biggest thing is the stand time, logging hours, and putting in the time in the stand.
Well, we've had a pretty eventful evening so far, and as you can hear, the rain's starting to fall on us a little bit. The forecast said it wasn't supposed to be till after dark, but it's getting us a little wet right now. We've finally laid eyes on our big 8 of a shooter that we've been getting pictures of and been getting word of at least since summer too. We saw him crossing the ridge at the top by the fence line that we're trying to work him down off of. And he was chasing a doe. We've seen all kinds of activity up along that line, multiple does, multiple bucks, with only the one shooter, but a couple younger, promising-looking bucks. One tried to make its way down to us, and our wind swirled on us a little bit. I think he caught wind of us, but we've seen plenty of deer tonight. We're just looking for that one mature buck opportunity in bow range. So we're gonna sit tight the rest of the night. But the conditions in the evening couldn't get any better. Okay, we're set up this morning. It's Halloween morning. We're set up on the south side of this doe bedding area. Nice little cedar patch here just to our north. We've got a good north, kind of some western flow of a wind here this morning. And with it being Halloween, we know that if the rut isn't full go yet, it's sure close to it. So we're sitting on this bedding area, hoping that one of our shooter bucks comes in to check the does. We've got a great wind set up for it, and we know that they've been hanging out a whole bunch just on the other side of this ridge. So we're gonna start to get really aggressive with some calling and some rattling, and the hunter's cloak, doe estrus, and buck urine cartridges, putting out that scent, really trying to get a buck fired up and in here to check out what's going on in this bedding area. So we're gonna sit tight this morning and see if anything comes in here to check this bedding area. been a pretty uneventful morning in the deer stand here for us. As we continue to learn this farm, we're going to continue to get more aggressive. Our thought here was to be on the side of this bedding area, hoping that a buck would come in to check it as the rut gets in, but that just simply hasn't been the case. We're going to give it a couple more sits before we totally abandon ship, but we're kind of repositioning some cameras to figure out where the best place to be on this farm is. But so far in Missouri, we kind of gotten our butt kicked a little bit. We've only had one encounter with a shooter. We've seen plenty of deer. The quantity of deer has not been the issue. It's been more the quality and looking for the shooters that we have in mind. Especially with it being early, we're not going to rush to anything. So we're sitting here on Halloween and finishing up this week in Missouri, and then headed out to hunt at Pro Outfitters and hunt in Nebraska. It'll be my first out-of-state hunt that I'm really excited about. But we're gonna get down, and we're going to get some cameras and kind of reposition some things and continue to take in some info and see where our best chance to run in with one of these shooters will be. So be safe out there. We're gonna climb down and get back after them tomorrow.
So we ended up having about 3 evening hunts here in Kentucky this week. We're hunting the right time of the year here. It's actually really just cooled off. We had a frost last night, and we had a really cool evening last night up in the mid-40s, and really perfect conditions. Just you get that cold front right in early November, just waiting for kind of things to erupt here in the Midwest. We saw some light rut activity. One of our top shooter bucks was actually bumping a couple does up on top of the hill. And that was the first time we had laid eyes on him. We had our decoy, we had Leroy out last night. We had him in a perfect spot. He was on the high point of our little knoll right there. And that buck came across the top of the ridge about 125 yards from us. And we hit him with the chorus of snort wheezes, grunts, just a little bit of rattling. And he seemed really interested. And I think had he not already had them does up on top of the hill with him, I think he would have made his way back to the farm, because we have tons of pictures of him in the back, sparring with other bucks, and just being back there quite often. So I think he's comfortable back there, but I personally believe he already had kind of what he wanted up there. So he didn't make his way back to us. We were kind of bummed. I really thought we were in position A there. Other hunts have been rather slow. We saw a bunch of turkeys, a small buck. I mean, I know Dylan's licking his lips for springtime because there's like 30 toms out there right now. But we're packing up our gear. We're headed over tomorrow morning to meet Brett and Nate out at Hunt Pro Outfitters in Northwest Missouri. They also have private land in Nebraska and Kansas. So we're gonna go check them out. It's the first time me and Dylan have ever outfitted hunts for deer. We're gonna be 30 feet up a tree all week in November in the Midwest. So we're super pumped, and yeah, we'll catch you guys out there.
What's going on, guys? We're out on the farm today. It's the same farm that we've been hunting that you've seen in some of our hunt update videos that we've done to start the year here in Missouri. I wanted to tell you real quick a little bit about this farm. I just got permission on it this year. It's a new farm for me, so we've been learning the ropes of it and everything that comes into that, hanging new stands, finding spots for trail cameras, new scrapes and rubs and sign and everything. We're continuing to learn it. We think we're getting a better grasp of it, but it's a couple hundred acres here in middle Missouri, kind of outside of St. Louis, more local for me. I had my first son this year, so my huntings had to stay a little bit more local to St. Louis to start the year. And it's a couple hundred acres, and it butts up to a couple really large tracts of land down here in this valley that have minimal hunting pressure. So the deer are just running all over the place down here. There's a ton of mature bucks and tons of does. We've got a bunch of mature bucks on camera running around. We know that this farm tends to like suck some down. My buddy that got me permission on this farm has killed a couple of really nice deer down here and has been hunting this area for the last 10 or 20 years. So his guidance has really helped us kind of be in the right general locations, and now we're really trying to hone in on some bow setups to kill some of these mature deer. We're continuing to learn, and we're gonna have to keep getting better. We haven't got anything down. I feel like the start of this year's kicked our butt a little bit, but we're just coming into the rut, and we know the activity is really just starting to peak. So we're going to Nebraska this week. When we get back, we're gonna have another week of the early archery season left here in Missouri, and hope to get back on this farm after this Nebraska trip and really get into some of these bucks that we've got on trail camera.